Overfishing, fraud, high pricing, those are just some of the challenges in the seafood industry. Could plant-based seafood be a solution to these problems? That's what we'll be talking about today. Welcome to a new episode of 𝗂𝗄𝘁 Spotlight. I'm your host, Susan Choi. I'm excited to bring in our guest, Kelli Wilson. She's the CEO of Bayou Best Foods, a new company dedicated to creating animal and allergen-free seafood products. Kelli, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show to visit with you and your audience.
All right, let's get the conversation started. This is going to be really interesting. So, Kelli, your company, Bayou Best Foods, its mission is to manufacture animal and allergen-free seafood products. Tell us, where are you guys at in terms of development stages? When do you anticipate this product being ready to go for the markets? And who is your target demographic?
So we're a fairly young company. You are our first kind of video interview, so I appreciate your time and energy today. We were founded in July of 2024. We were created to meet the growing demand for alternative proteins, particularly as more U.S. consumers are adopting new dietary preferences and managing allergies that are diagnosed later in life. Our team, including a highly experienced board and myself as CEO, we bring deep expertise in the plant-based industry. And at Bayou Best, we are dedicated to delivering high quality plant-based seafood that satisfied consumer expectations. For the last 90 days, and this is super exciting for us, our Bayou Best Foods team has been hard at work refining our recipes and perfecting our formulas with a primary focus on replicating the taste and texture of seafood shrimp using a limited number of ingredients and fewer processing steps. We're on track to scale production in the next 60 days, and we expect to have product ready for customer review by the end of Q4. Our current focus is entirely on food service, specifically targeting fast casual and mid-casual restaurants. We're working to ensure that our plant-based seafood performs exceptionally in these settings, both in terms of taste and operational efficiency for chefs and for kitchens alike.
Bayou Best Foods, you all did acquire the intellectual property from New Wave Foods. That was a plant-based seafood company that generated a lot of interest, attention, also a lot of investments. Unfortunately, they did have to shut down their doors in the fall of last year, 2023. CEO of that company, Michelle Wolf, had been quoted as saying that they couldn't outrun industry headwinds. So in your opinion, Kelli, what makes Bayou Best Foods, best positioned to manufacture and, market, distribute its product now?
So I do want to start with, just kind of echoing your sentiment that it is unfortunate that several of the plant-based seafood companies have fallen by the wayside in the last couple of years. And that was due to kind of headwinds. I think it started back during the COVID era, 2020, 2021. People were struggling to pay those premiums for plant-based seafood products. The timing today is ideal for plant-based shrimp, because we're addressing critical consumer needs that are more urgent than ever. Shellfish allergies are the most common food allergy in the U.S., and there are not a lot of companies addressing those. It's an underrepresented demographic in our society. So it leaves a significant gap in the market for safe and alternative seafood options. While previous companies like New Wave Foods faced headwinds with cost and scaling, we've learned from those challenges and are positioned to succeed by focusing on those two key areas: affordability and production scalability. Bayou Best is doubling down on creating a product that not only delivers on taste and texture, but is also accessible cost-wise for food service operators. We've built our business model to overcome the hurdles of cost efficiency and large-scale production, making now the right time to bring plant-based shrimp into our market. Our approach is grounded in the lessons of the past while focusing on the consumer demands of today. Bayou Best Foods is nimble, we're quick to adapt, and we're laser focused on our consumer expectations. We're well positioned to capture significant market share in the medium and long term, leveraging our collective experiences to bring something truly different and better to the market. We have the right team, the right product, and the right approach to win in this evolving industry.
It certainly seems that Bayou Best Foods strives to be the solution to a lot of the challenges that I mentioned at the beginning of this show, challenges in that traditional seafood space, overfishing, right, environmental concerns, fish fraud. We all know about the quality poultry and seafood case. That was the most recent, case of scandal, one of many cases in the seafood industry, and also, high pricing. But Kelli, talk to us more about, how specifically do you guys, plan to address, how specifically you will create those solutions, how plant-based seafood can create those solutions in terms of, really encouraging, promoting, practicing, environmentally safe, standards, ethically safe, standards when, as you're manufacturing your product, selling your product, as you're running your business.
So I think it is, I think I want to address kind of the top or the middle question first. So we are incredibly dedicated to creating living wage jobs in rural communities in the U.S. We want to contribute to the economic growth of the regions where we operate. We focus not only on helping revitalize the economies, but also ensuring that our production practices are ethical and community driven. At Bayou Best Foods, we're deeply committed to addressing the challenges that burden the traditional seafood industry, such as overfishing, seafood fraud, and our products are manufactured in the U.S., so we avoid many of those transparency and fraud issues that have plagued the global seafood supply chain. Our production is built on a foundation of traceability and sustainability, ensuring that our customers know exactly where their food comes from. Consumers today, they don't just kind of expect, but they demand quality, consistency, and supply chain visibility and transparency. We deliver on those fronts. Our kind of local is best approach means that we offer products with a smaller environmental footprint, eliminating the need for long carbon intensive, transports from around the world. Everything is produced in the U.S., where we also support our Green Footprint Initiative.
And finally, I have to ask Kelli, seeing as you have such an extensive amount of experience in the plant-based foods industry overall. You were there at Beyond Meat. You've worked with Ethan Brown. We've seen the plant-based industry get a lot of hype, right? Get a lot of attention in recent years. But there's been a downward trend recently, especially when it comes to sales in plant-based food products. From where you stand, and the amount of experience that you've had in this sector, what do you think is essential that the plant-based food industry needs to commit to, needs to execute in order to, see more success moving forward?
That's a really interesting question, and it comes up more and more today. And, while I have been in the food industry for 32 years, I've been in this plant-based rocket ship for the last 7 years. Had the opportunity to work with Beyond Meat and with Ethan, one of my early mentors, and obviously the plant leader. Over the last 7 years, I've seen this plant-based industry almost come a full circle. We started with plant-based burgers, with black bean burgers, where people could look at it and know, immediately that it was a black bean plant-based burger. That was to address consumer health needs more than the desire to replace meat in their diet. And then we kind of moved on to people wanting to mimic and replace meat, meatless Mondays, whatever we wanted to call it. But we wanted to replace meat, and we wanted something that was identical to meat. Step in Beyond Meat, step in Impossible, step in, all of the newcomers, and they created a plant-based meat that looks and tastes like, red meat or white meat. It feels like, people are turning that curve now, turning that this to a full circle, and we're going back to consumers' expectations for traceability, for visibility, for the health benefits, to circle back around and look more on whole foods, look more on transparency, clean ingredients, and those kind of things. So I think as we look to the future of plant-based foods, that's where the focus is going to be. And I think that you can see that in some of the new offerings that some of the leaders are starting to come out with, cleaner fats, lower number of ingredients on the label, all of those things. And as we build Bayou Best Foods, those are the trends, those are the consumer demands that we are answering. We are, lower processing footprint, fewer ingredients, more recognizable ingredients when you bite into the food. And I think that that's where the plant-based industry is going. And we can start to see it. It started to turn that corner over the last 12 months. And these newcomers and the large industry leaders are starting to recognize that and answer with new products that meet that demand.
All right, Kelli Wilson, CEO of Bayou Best Foods. Kelli, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you inviting me on.
And that's our show. I'm Susan Choi. And as always, you can check out more of our great content by clicking on this playlist. Till next time, take care.